Hey, how's it going, Barbara?
Hold on, I got it. Not bad, not bad.
Let's see here. All right, we're recording. Wanted to make sure I got that started before I forgot. And we'll just let everyone trickle in here.
Uh-oh. See how I do this. No, no, it's gonna have to be video. That's just the way it is.
Oh,
I'm
no.
in the bedrooms. Life is good. Life is good.
Hey, Nate,
How's
Hi,
everybody?
Nate.
Hi.
how's it going?
Good. How you doing? How
Doing
you
well.
doing, Barb?
Doing well. Hard to believe it's Christmas in 5 days.
I know it.
Patrick, please don't remind me.
That
What I have here is something that cannot wrap Christmas gifts.
is true. That would
Oh,
make it
yeah.
much more challenging.
I tried it today and it was not successful.
I remember as a kid, when my dad would take me to the mall, they would have like little kiosks that would wrap your gifts for you. But now that the shopping malls are gone, it's like I don't even know if that's a thing anymore.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
don't think
either.
it
It
It'd be
would
a
be
cool
a
little
good
side hustle
pop-up
though.
business.
I mean, they have side hustles for everything now. I'm kind of shocked that hasn't popped up. To take over one of the Rite Aids or CVS's that's closed and make it a holiday wrapping center, like Spirit
Yeah.
Halloween, right? Just pop up.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
get an extra season out of them.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I watched up a pop-up candies uh business that was operated in the middle of Swickley by the bank in the back of a person's car.
Not a bad idea.
Not a bad idea. And they had maybe 20 people there, 25, picking up their orders.
Hmm.
Hey, how's it going, Amy?
It's going well. How about yourself?
Oh, hanging in there, hanging in there.
Awesome. Well,
Hi, Amy.
hi, Barbara. How are you?
Okay, okay.
Oh, good. Good. Ready for the end of the year and the new year and the holiday and all the things.
I do love Christmas. I have to say, I love Christmas, but this year it's a little different. And I
Oh,
still love it.
yeah. It feels like it really crept up on us this year. I don't exactly know why, but it's the end of the year before I feel like I even got used to it being fall.
I feel like
But
the 60-degree
Yeah,
days
yeah,
until a week ago
yeah,
didn't help things.
yeah, exactly. Exactly.
well, you still have little ones too, and that makes a lot of
It
Christmas.
does, yes. It definitely makes it a really fun time. It definitely adds a little extra, a little extra, I don't want to say stress because that's not the right word, but making sure everything's ready. So
Yeah,
but it's good. It's a lot of fun. My sister does she does a 12-day of Christmas countdown. So she really honestly helps me make it super magical because every day leading up to Christmas they have a little something, usually arts and crafts or
nice.
books, and it really
Yeah.
helps to add to the spirit of it.
Hey, how's it going, Dan?
Doing well, thanks. How are you?
Doing well, doing well. Thanks for hopping on. Hey,
Yeah,
Daryl.
absolutely.
I must say, it's nice seeing everybody from the computer end.
It's been a while since we've had a meeting platform all on Zoom, so hopefully it goes
I
smooth.
know.
Looks like we're getting everyone streaming in here kind of all at once, so we'll give everyone a minute to get settled in.
Well, it looks like I have to deal with Puppy for a minute here.
Oh, no worries. We'll give everybody another minute or two to stream in here, and then we'll go ahead and get started.
So we have how many, Patrick? What I see.
Right now, we have 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. We definitely have a quorum. We're at 9 now that John's here. So yeah, we
Oh,
can go ahead and
good.
get started. I mean, I know Julie's expecting to come as well, but we'll go ahead and I'll let her in whenever she gets here, and whoever else is able to make it.
Okay, I'm going to call this meeting to order at 7:01 Wednesday, December 20th, 2023. Let's all get ready to say the Pledge of Allegiance. Patrick?
Sure, let me go ahead and pull up the flag here. All right,
Okay, there we go.
I pledge
I
allegiance
pledge
to the
allegiance
flag of the United
to
States of
the
America,
United States of
to the
America,
republic for which it stands, one
one
nation,
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 under God,
under God,
indivisible,
indivisible,
liberty and justice for all.
liberty
Liberty and justice for all.
for all. Well, that went. Okay, Patrick, roll call.
Sure thing. Aleppo. See Art's here. Avalon,
Present.
Bell Acres, Bellevue,
Here.
Ben Avon, Edgeworth,
Here.
Emsworth,
Here.
Glen Osborne,
Here,
Glenfield, Hayesville,
here,
Gilbuck,
Here,
Leet, Leedsdale, Sewickley, Sewickley Heights.
Here,
That's a quorum.
great, great. So, Patrick, do we have any guests or?
Nope. And Julie just hopped in here too, so she's also here.
I see. Great, great. Welcome, Julie.
Hey, sorry, I had a little trouble getting on.
I'll take a motion to approve the minutes of November 15th.
I'll make a motion.
Is
Right,
there-
I'll second that.
Oh, great. All those in favor signify by raising your hand saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, next.
I have to abstain from that one since I missed the meeting.
Okay.
Thank you.
Next on our agenda is approval of the November financial reports, the unpaid bill list, and the payroll summary. I'll take a motion to approve.
So
I move
moved.
that we approve.
Is there a second?
Yeah, second.
Second.
Thank you. Discussion. Patrick?
No, I just want to highlight where I think we're in really good financial position here. Our general fund bank account is just a tick below $100,000, which is over twice what it was this time last year. The budget, I think our projections were pretty solid and on the point. Really excited to see what we're going to get into next year, but everything is really tracked how we thought it would, and even some cases exceeded that, especially with our recycling grant. So I think we're in great shape for 2024.
Great. Anybody else have any comments? Okay. I'll since we have a motion to approve in a second, I say let's all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Okay. Moving very quickly in the first 5 minutes, we're down to a seventh part of the agenda. Moving on to the president's report. Number one, I have to say thank you to everybody that has been a delegate, everybody that has joined us online and in person, especially those in person who've had to make motions and second them when we are in person. And thank you for saying that this is important and that it's important for all of us to have input, to realize that we are a Quaker Valley cog that is made up of different communities, different problems, and different situations. And as always, I love the concerns by the delegates because we have here in our delegates, those have been delegates for years and those that are new. And one or both of us can learn from one another. It's always great when we could do things jointly, and going forward, we're more powerful. We get more grants, and I just think this is an important organization. And moving forward, again, it seems to be important to the communities and of service to the communities which we all represent. And lastly, I'd like to thank Patrick. You have been wonderful. You have been always responsive to any concern. Putting together all those grants was a monumental task, not to mention doing the COG dinner at the same time. So you're a big part of why this COG has been, in my opinion, going successfully forward. And our budget is what it is. So thank you. Thank you all.
I appreciate the kind of words, and it's been a great year to work with every single one of you.
Lastly, on my president's report, on the news in the past month, which has caught my personal eye always, is waste management contracts. I think we are lucky as a community not to have done our contract early and that it's not to be renewed, am I right, until 2026. We enter negotiation again.
Yep.
But seeing how prices have risen for those communities that have negotiated or are in the process of negotiating, I think even though 2026 seems far away, I would advise and would hope everybody would ponder what is going to be the cost of this next contract. And it might be, I know in Glen Osborne, I brought this up last night at our council meeting, and we are putting aside money in case this contract, or we're very, very aware that we have a small budget, we're a small community, but we wonder how this might affect us. So we're starting to put away money now for the next waste management contract settlement. And that's the end of my president's report.
Thank you, Barbara.
Sure. Okay, next on our agenda is the Route 65 update.
Nothing huge to report, but I just want to highlight to the group and everyone on the call that in January, I think we're really going to get started here, working with our new little subcommittee, the Route 65 subcommittee, Julie, Barbara. So, you know, we'll figure out a date over email to get together on a Zoom or maybe even in person if it works for you guys and your schedules, just to start that conversation and really highlight some goals that we want to tackle in 2024 and go over, you know, some strategies to really engage with our member communities and see where they want us to go, not just where we want to go, but where our communities want us to steer, you know, this whole discussion as well. So, you know, as those updates come on, the whole board will know, but that's really the only news I had to report on that front.
Okay, thank you, Patrick. Any questions that are open to discussion about this Route 65?
I'd like to thank Dan McKelvey for volunteering to be part of the committee. And I think that there's also room if somebody else is still interested in being part of the committee. I think we could add another person, no problem.
Okay, great. Thank you, Julie. Okay, Patrick, the status of our grants.
Yeah, some of these grants, especially our CD 48 grants, are starting to get wrapped up. So two of them are underway. They're in the final process of being reviewed by their respective municipal engineers. We've already started to process some cost reports for those. The other two grants, one in Bell Acres and one in Leedsdale, we're going to be pushing those until the spring, just acknowledging the weather isn't going to be so great to be working with concrete. So good news in those fronts. We're also wrapping up the cost report for our Ben Avon Borough Building Gaming Grant. And we are in the process of getting started with the Leet Township Stormwater Project from our 2022 gaming grant. So good to see some of these projects underway. Good to see some of them wrapping up. And we have a lot in the docket here. That's why it's a 2-page report, not just a 1-page report anymore. Just all of these things and contracts getting approved at once. So if your communities aren't impacted by these grants this year, it shouldn't be too long before we have a whole nother cycle, and there's a good chance that your communities will have something going on in the spring or summer next year. So, that report is obviously for you guys just to keep tabs on what's going on. So if you ever have any questions about those projects, or just have curiosities and why things kind of are in the same spot, maybe a month or two in a row, that's really to help you, maybe help the manager or staff ask questions and how things get spurred along. So, but really good shape, really excited to see some of these things get started.
Great. Thank you, Patrick. Next is the executive director's report.
Yeah, so a couple things I wanted to highlight. So last year we saw the first fuel cost adjustment for our garbage contract. And basically it's a mechanism that if the hauler, in this case Waste Management, would see a huge influx in diesel fuel prices, it gives them some protections. And last year we saw an 11-cent increase per household with that fuel cost adjustment. In 2024, based on the calculations, there is no adjustment at all. So prices will remain exactly the same. Bills will remain exactly the same in 2024 as they were in 2023. So again, it's a mechanism that just kind of follows the price of gas. Year over year, the price went down. So no increase is going to be passed on to consumers on that front. So good news there. Other thing I wanted to highlight, we have a new grant opportunity, and it's not going to be something that's necessarily through the QB-COG, but it's just something I wanted to make sure people knew that was out there. That's called the Redevelopment Authority, the Redevelopment Assistance Capital Program, or RCAP. It opened up on December 8th, and it's going to close up on January 12th. So this is an opportunity for regional economic, cultural, civic, recreational, and historic improvement projects. Pretty big pot of statewide money that's available. So I have some more details on our website if you want to visit qbcog.org. There's a little link to it that takes you to DCED's website. But again, just another opportunity. The window's closing, but nice statewide pot of money out there. Next up, we have a franchise fee cooperative. As you might have seen over the last few months, we're working with the Cohen Law Group, and this is just an opportunity for us to band together and pass some of those cost savings to participating communities that might be looking to renegotiate their franchise fee agreements with Comcast. So right now we have 2 communities that have signed on to this. If we get up to 7, there's a max 20% discount. So all the secretaries and managers in our communities should be aware of this. I've sent the email and the opportunity for them to engage with this, but just something you might see pop up at one of your board meetings in the future. And it's really just for those communities that are looking to their expiration for their franchise fee and looking to renegotiate. So again, it's strength in numbers, and there's no obligation to participate, but those that do may see some cost savings through the Cohen Law Group. Last thing, just wanted to highlight our meeting dates. As we approved in August, we're going to have just 2 meeting locations next year. So from January to June, we're going to be meeting in the Sewickley Public Library in the first floor in their community gathering space. And then the second half of the year, from July to December, we'll be meeting in Leedsdale Borough at their borough building. So this is just an effort to really consolidate, kind of bring some stability, not bouncing around quite as much. There are pros to go into all the municipal buildings, but as we saw this past year, there are some cons as well, whether it's maybe unstable internet connections or just being locked out of spaces. We want to avoid that moving forward. So again, Sewickley until June, and then from July onward, we're going to be in Leedsdale. Still going to do the hybrid. So those that are able to participate via Zoom are still welcome to do so. Just a few less road trips, just a couple spaces. So that's all I had.
Okay, thank you. Any comments on the executive report?
I'd just
Okay.
like to highlight the grant opportunities, the ARPA water grants that were awarded yesterday in Pennsylvania, and locally we got a lot of money. I think Glen Osborne got an award.
Yes.
Sewickley Borough got an award, and Sewickley Water Authority got an award. So I just want to encourage people to think about applying for grants. There's so much money available at the federal and state level for the next 4 or 5 years. And it's in all areas of local government. So some of it comes down through the state, some of it's awarded through the federal government, but just like keep these grants on your radar, because I know that in Sewickley, the mindset in the past was that Sewickley would not be awarded grants. I guess I'm not sure why, because it's not like there's a really high median like income in Sewickley, but the grant that was just awarded to Sewickley yesterday was for $875,000. So it's significant. It can really make a difference in a budget of $7 million. So just want to put that out there.
And the grants seem to happen, they open and close within a month. I mean, it's a very tight time. You've got to be ready for.
Right.
No,
So
it's
the
coming.
idea is to like work with your engineer and work with your, maybe like a subcommittee of your council, to be aware of like what kind of capital improvement projects you would want to do, even if it's not something you've budgeted, but like what are your wish lists, and what, even just having estimates from your engineering firm ready to go, so that if there are grant opportunities that arise, you have an application basically ready to go, because otherwise it takes too long to get it all set up and then you miss the window.
Right. Good advice. Very good advice.
Hi, this is Roberta in Avalon. We got money as well from that. I have 2 figures written down on my notes from last night, and hold on. One says 151,000 and the other one says $322,000 dollars. I think those are both of our grants that Mr. Heil told us about last night. We have our big council meeting always the night before our COG meeting. But yeah, we got a lot of money from that. And generally,
It's great.
our manager, Lorraine, is the one that works on the grants and stuff like that. So
Congratulations. That's awesome.
Yeah. That's great. I know for Glen Osborne, we're so small that we don't have the staff really to get that together, but it's nice to know it's coming and to be prepared for when it does open up, because it's such a small window and so quickly. And Patrick, thank you for getting us informed when there are any grants out there.
Yeah, perfect segue into the next agenda item too.
Hey. Okay. Our next agenda item is approval of the concurring resolution CDBG year 50 administration. Do you have a copy of that I hope everybody has seen?
Yep. So it's in the meeting packet. I can also pull it up here for you
Yeah.
guys to take a look at. But really, the purpose of this grant is to request a cap of $47,500 for administrative reimbursements through the CDBG program. That doesn't necessarily mean we're going to get $47,500, but we can apply for up to that amount. it's based on a percentage of time that really I put into the program. Typically, in the last couple of years, it's been around 30,000, but we always want to make sure we're applying for more, just in case more time is spent on it. And this year, we'll definitely see a little more time than we have in last year, just dealing with basically 2 cycles of contracts as opposed to 1 with that delay in CD40.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's just a resolution. We'll go ahead and send it over to the county and goes in their record, and that's pretty much the gist of it.
I'll take a motion to approve the resolution.
So
I'll
moved.
second that.
Okay. Whoa, there it is. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Okay, thank you. Next is Patrick, we have 2 members, Jeff Weatherby and Paul Getz, that have been members of the Quaker Valley COG for a long period of time. And they attend meetings, they have wonderful insights. And at this time, they will no longer, after this meeting, be attending our meetings. So, Patrick, you want to read it?
Sure.
Read Jeff's? Sure.
So, and as Barbara mentioned, these 2 gentlemen have been pillars of the QB COG way before my time, but they've helped me out considerably in the 2.5 years that I've been here. And this is just a little token of our appreciation. Assuming we go ahead and pass these proclamation resolutions, I'll deliver the physical copy to both borough offices for Kathy and Jen to display, for their communities to see. Jeff is not on the call today, but I'll make sure that he's aware of this as well. But just to summarize here, whereas public service is a noble calling, which often provides a variety of challenges and rewards to those who seek it. Whereas the ability for a council of governments to provide responsive, innovative, and effective service to its member communities and their residents depends on the outstanding performance of dedicated volunteers. And whereas since 2012, Mr. Jeff Weatherby has served as a council person for Leedsdale Borough. And whereas 1996, Mr. Paul Getz began his service for Emsworth Borough. And whereas Mr. Getz has served the QV COG, and whereas Mr. Weatherby have served the QV COG since 2014 and since 2017, respectively. During their tenure, they have helped guide the QV COG through numerous challenges, including the selection of 2 executive directors, and helped steer the organization through the COVID-19 pandemic, which for every organization and municipality was a real challenge. Whereas in their capacity as public servants, both Mr. Weatherby and Mr. Getz were pillars of support for both the residents of their respective municipalities, as well as through the communities in the QB COG, providing solutions, helping address numerous questions and concerns levied by their colleagues, that it resulted in innovative services and programming for the over 31,000 residents within the QB COG. And whereas for the last 12 years for Leedsdale and for over 20 years for Emsworth, these 2 gentlemen have provided leadership, institutional knowledge, and exhaustive efforts to ensure that their municipal and executive staff could serve their communities most effectively. Whereas it is essential and proper to recognize the tremendous impact of public servants within our QB COG member communities. Therefore, be proclaimed that the QB COG formally recognizes the extraordinarily public service of both Mr. Weatherby and Mr. Getz, duly passed and proclaimed this 20th day, December 2023, by the QB COG Board of Delegates on today.
Okay, I'll take a motion to accept the honorary proclamation recognizing Mr. Jeff Weatherby and Mr. Paul Getz for their service to the Quaker Valley COG.
I make
So
that motion.
moved.
Okay, and a
I'll
second.
second. I'll
All
second.
those in favor, raise your hand and signify by saying aye.
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 Thank you. Thank you.
And thank you, Paul. It's been a great ride here. 2.5 years got to work with you. You'll be sorely missed, and don't be a stranger. Please, anytime you have an idea or want to kick the tires on a project, the region, let me know, and my ears are always open.
I will, Patrick. It's been a real pleasure working with you. I can't express how much. So it's my own fault. I dropping out this year, missed the date for elections. So but it's been a pleasure, and thank all the members for their support.
Well, thank you, Paul, for your wisdom.
Thank you so
and your
much.
experience.
Thank you.
Patrick, I'd like to compliment both Paula and Jeff. They've been advocates for local governments since I started coming to COG meetings in 2015, 2016. They've both been very helpful throughout the years. And Paul, I wish you the best, and ran into Jeff the other day and wished him the same too. So they've both been great to work with.
Thank you, John.
Okay. Moving on, we have the 2023 annual report.
Yeah, so I just wanted to highlight some of the most important aspects of the report. That way you guys can get on with your evening and enjoy the holiday season here, but hopefully everyone had a chance to look at it. This is something that we put together every year, and I think this year is definitely the most proud of the report I've been to date. So just to summarize, the glass recycling program is where we start here. Really taken off. Over 150 tons of glass has been recycled since we started this in March of 2022. Last year alone, we saw over 85 tons of glass collected. Well, this year alone, sorry. We took over complete financial ownership of the program due to its success, as well as our success in our recycling performance grant. And just to make sure everyone's aware that we have two of these bins, one's in Sewickley, one's in Avalon, and really expecting it to get heavy use this holiday season. Yeah, hopefully everyone's taking advantage of this and making sure that their communities are aware. One of our real success points. Another point we wanted to highlight that maybe doesn't have as much use, but still there for people to use and communities to use is our yard waste drop-off program. Again, another partnership with Michael Brothers Hauling. This has been a free program. I think we've had about a dozen different instances of use, whether it's a municipal public works department or just residents using it since it launched last year. But again, it's available. Yard waste, grass clippings, Christmas trees, things like that, all can be dropped off here free of charge. Their locations at 408 Hoffman Road. Not the most strategic location for everybody, but again, it's there for those that are able to utilize it. Highlight some of our training opportunities and our educational tours. Had a waste management recycling center tour. Real big news in that front is the Neville Island site, the Green Star site, is going under a huge overhaul. Millions of dollars being spent to really increase the efficiencies of their recycling separation. So we're going to get a crack at it in the summer this year, whenever it's opened up, to have a new tour whenever that's open. So keep your eyes open for that. But last year we got one last look at the old site. We also had the tree adoption event, right? So partnership with the Sewickley Civic Garden Club's Maymart event. Tree Pittsburgh came out. We were able to get, with advocacy from the QBCOG, get the event on May 13th. We gave out over 200 trees. It was a great event. People really seemed to enjoy it. And hopefully in the coming year, we're able to get one of those events back. We had two purple air monitors awarded through GASP. So one's in Edgeworth Borough. They just fired it up at their salt shed. One's in Ben Avon Borough at their community, at their borough hall. So these are tracking the air quality in our communities. It's available for free for anyone to see. If you go to purpleair.com, and in the coming year, we're going to be hoping to build upon that network and hopefully get one of these monitors in every single one of our communities, or those that want to participate, right? So again, just really promoting air awareness, and that really started off with those wildfires, right? The poor air quality we saw earlier this year, and just highlighting the importance of knowing outside. Our police chiefs committee, another one of our cornerstone achievements over the last couple of years. We saw numerous grant awards in 2023, a mobile fingerprint scanner that's housed at the Edgeworth Borough Police Department. This is available for all of our police agencies to use. We're paying for the software and the cell phone service that's associated with it. Runs about $1,000 annually. But again, that was awarded, the device itself was free of charge to the PA Police Chiefs Association. So really happy to see that finally get online. Keystone Communities Grant, we were awarded $100,000 with the help of Representative Gatos. That money is going to be going towards the procurement of license plate reader camera systems, right? And we're hoping to get 4 intersections covered in the region. We've highlighted 5 total, and we're going to be putting this out to bid in January. We've been kind of sitting on this for about a month now, but we didn't want to put this out to bid until after the holiday season, just to hopefully bring as much awareness to it and get as much competition involved. So keep an eye out for that. We'll be going door to door to the communities that are highlighted with the possible intersections and working out agreements and long-term really solutions to make sure these cameras work today as well as 10 years from now. Also, we had our public works training event. We just had this last week. Had 4 communities that participated, and their public works members get a 3-year certification for their flagger certification. So they're really happy to see that event go off without a hitch. Also, obviously Route 65 has got a focus for the last 5 or 6 years, and it's really going to be a focus next year as well. But we put together that nice flyer with Michael Baker International, just highlighting what we put together over the last 5 years and really giving us a springboard into our next journeys for the corridor. And just highlighting, the programs we put on for, the last 5 or 6 years. Again, zoning technical assistance program. We brought on 2 new communities in 2023, and we've got one on deck with Leetsdale Borough also looking at it. So Leet Township, Aleppo Township, and maybe even Leetsdale Borough next year. All are members of the zoning technical assistance program. Really great partnership we have with Mr. Chris Rearick, who's a certified zoning and planning consultant. So he does a great job and is able to help out a lot of our communities. Proactive code enforcement. Again, right now that program is dormant, but it's available for those that might have issues or needs on the topic of code enforcement. And grants, right? So we put together a grant map that highlights the last 5 years worth of program awards, as well as all the applications we put in this year. And just this year alone, we had 31 applications between the gaming grants, between CDBG grants, and between local share account grants. Nearly every community, I think we had 12 of our 15 members apply for a grant, as well as 3 agencies and authorities as well. So this year we really took it to the stars, and in the coming months, really the coming weeks, we're going to start to get word on which of these grants has been awarded. And it'll just go all the way throughout the spring as far as what we applied for this year. So please keep an eye out and ear out for some of those award announcements. We had our annual dinner. So 60 attendees at the Edgeworth Club. We had Mr. Tom Baker as our keynote speaker. Really highlighted public service. I think it was a really interesting and fun speakership. We also had a 50-50 raffle that benefited Animal Friends. We raised over $300 with the help of Diane and Barbara selling those tickets. We really knocked that out of the park this year. So we had 11 financial sponsorships for the event. So we generated about $5,000 worth of profit from that dinner. So really, everyone seemed to enjoy themselves. I think next year we had some feedback and had some ideas as an organization that we might change it up a little bit. But again, huge success financially, and we raised some money for a really great cause as well. And last but not least, we brought on our first affiliate member, the Sewickley Borough Water Authority, hoping this is just the first of many that we're able to line up for the next couple of years. Authorities, anybody that's interested to work with us, we're definitely willing to help out. So they were our first ever affiliate member, and we're excited to have them on board. And I just highlighted all the grants we applied for. Again, hopefully everyone had a chance to take a look at this. This is a tool that I'm going to use whenever we send out our dues invoices, right, in the spring of next year, just to highlight who we are, what we do, and what we can do for our member community. So just a real brief summary, and I'd be happy to answer any questions if anyone has any on it.
Thank you, Patrick. Also looking at, well, I'll move on with the agenda. Is there any comment on the annual report? I think this is a great accomplishments, but I also would love to hear from the delegates. Anything, maybe we could discuss it when we get to concerns, ideas that you might have that the COG can participate in, help change. So feel free to bring that up under the concerns or any old business first.
Barbara, I just want to say, I know MSOR's applied for more grants this year through the COG than we ever have. Thanks to Patrick's help and saying, this is out there and that's out there. So we've applied. We'll find out in the spring if we get any of them. The most they can say is no, but if they say yes, it's money we never had. So don't have to spend our own taxpayers. So I really appreciate Patrick being on the ball and making us aware of the grant possibilities that are out there.
Oh,
We'll see.
yes. Oh, yeah. We had more people, more municipalities and communities applying for grants this year than any time I've seen before since I've been on the COG. And it's thanks to Patrick and all the work that he certainly has done.
I'm sorry,
Okay,
Patrick, you were talking about you just were telling us, of course, all the highlights, but at the end you said, excuse me, you were going to send out a newsletter. Is that going to be an email or something? I want to make sure that everyone on my council gets it. I do give them a recap every month, but I feel like I don't do as good of a job as you just did. So
Yeah, so I'll definitely send this out to our managers, and I'll send it out to you guys too. That way we can, if you want to bring these to your boards individually, or if the managers put it in their packets for January or December, they can certainly do that. And I also send it out during when we send our dues out in spring. So
Okay.
that'll be a nice tool for us to just recap what we did this year and highlight what we do for our towns.
And the money that was raised at the dinner, that went straight into our bank account, the COG bank account?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Patrick, I think that's the end of old business. Let's go on to concerns by delegates. You want to do a roll call?
Sure. Art, anything in the LEFO you wanted to bring to our attention?
I don't know really have any volume or not. I'm out here in the middle of Missouri.
I can hear you.
And I had an interesting time getting through all that, but I made it within about 5 minutes. I guess I was 5 minutes late. Still didn't know whether I had any audio or not, but I'm glad to hear that I did. I've watched it with a great deal of attention. It was a very interesting meeting. I've missed quite a few this past 6 months when I lost my wife, but I'm coming back to getting into the swing of things, and I look forward to working with you.
It's nice to have you on board, Art.
Thank you.
Okay, Dan, anything in Bellevue?
Not a ton. Wrapping up our budget. We'll be meeting day or two after Christmas to vote on it, to adopt it, or yay or nay. We'll see what happens there. Biggest news is Cindy Bond, our borough manager, is leaving effective end of the year. So we are currently on a search for a new borough manager. If anybody knows of anyone looking for a borough manager job, send her our way, or send them our way.
Very good. Roberta, anything in Avalon?
Yeah, actually I have some really bad news, and my child's sitting here beside me and he doesn't know about this yet, so pardon any screeches coming from my house. We are not opening the Avalon public pool next summer.
Oh.
We lost a lot of money on it. I mean, typically communities do lose money on their pools. They're not, a great generator of profit. But we have to, I'm sorry, buddy, I couldn't tell you. We have to replace the liner, I believe. And there's a mystery leak, and the engineers have been down, the DPW have been down, and this has been ongoing for several years. And they cannot find the leak. It could be under the pool, it could be under the pump house, it could be under, we literally do not know where it is. And so we're hoping to find some, free money to help dig things up, grants and stuff, buddy.
Okay.
To dig things up and And we're anticipating that we're going to need all through spring and summer to like locate it and fix it. And they just announced it to the public today. We've been talking low key about it all summer. And then when we had to do our budget season this fall, I think we lost like $100,000 this year on the pool. So it's super sad. I know Declan and I here, we use it a lot. So the whole community's sad. And so that's the bad news.
Hi, this is what I look like.
Oh, I see that. We'll definitely keep an eye out for any opportunities for you grant wise, but
Yeah.
that's definitely some big news, and I'm sure you know, big things ahead. It can only go up from here, right?
Yeah.
All right. John, what's new in Edgeworth? I think we might have lost John.
No, I'm still here.
Easier.
Last night at our last council meeting of the year, we had 2 promotions. First, we promoted an officer to the position of police lieutenant, Bill Ock. He will be taking over that role right away. And secondly, my administrative assistant, Ellen, got a promotion to assistant borough manager. So 2 changes there. Both are very well deserved. Only other thing I'll say is thank you to Patrick for a great year of herding us all through these COG meetings and taking care of our grants and all the other needs. It's difficult enough to manage one community, but managing 14 different groups with 14 different interests is quite a challenge. So good job, Patrick. Look forward to next year.
Thank you, John. All right. Barbara, what's new in Glen Osborne?
Well, it would be nice if when Glen Osborne knows that we received the grant. They don't know that yet.
Oh,
But yeah, it would be the first grant that Glen Osborne has ever received. And so I'm looking forward to the announcement of the grant.
Barbara, I'll see if I can send you the email that I got. I'll forward
Oh,
it to you.
please. Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you. Because it will be fun telling everybody. See?
Yeah.
But anyways, yes, Glen Osborne's doing well and it's moving along. It still is concerned and very concerned. We're looking at our emergency management plan with the railroad. I mean, the only solution there is to look for a grant for a boat, and I'm not sure how viable that is, but we're working and we'll work with Hayesville and Glenfield on looking at emergency management plans because we have a community that has one way in and one way out.
All right, Amy, what's new in Hayesville?
Not too much new for us. Emergency planning will definitely be a big topic for us in 2024, both railroad related, but other as well. We need to sort of revamp and update. So it'll be a big topic. But nothing, we're ending the year pretty well. I second what everybody said about it, being very grateful for the opportunities that we've had this year in terms of applying for grants and just knowledge of what's happening where we didn't necessarily have that knowledge as much before. So thank you and looking forward to next year.
All right, Julie, what's new in Swickley?
Well, we had a fabulous light up night. So thank you
sure
for
did.
everyone who came. I'm always grateful when light up night happens and it's just like a positive event all around. So that was a great night for us. And I mean, I guess not much. Just an idea for next year. I did attend. Myself and then like a few of our council people and our borough manager, we attended the sustainability conference in Gettysburg for local governments back in November. And so there were like some interesting speakers there that I thought maybe we could have present to the COG on different sustainability, like areas of sustainability for local government where there's funding available or just different ideas. Penn State has a program where you can apply and you can get a student to work on, an issue of your choosing surrounding sustainability practices. So you know, it's an idea for next year.
Great.
And Patrick, thanks for a great year.
Oh, no problem. And to sort of echo that, please, everyone, keep your ears open for the announcements through Local Government Academy for their municipal intern program. So I know last year we had 3 interns in our region. Usually the announcement goes out at the beginning of January. So anybody that has an idea for municipal projects, any ideas at all, you know, make sure you put those applications in. I'm actually on the board now, and the LGA is always looking for new ideas, new communities to get involved in projects to sort of house those interns during the spring and summer months. So keep your eye open for that.
One other thing I'd say too is I just want to thank Barbara for her leadership this year. Thank you, Barbara. I know that you put like thought and energy and time into preparing for the meetings, and you speak with Patrick every week, so you put in your time in that way as well, and that you've had like some personal stuff that's been happening this year that's I'm sure made it more difficult to do that. So thank you very much for the time and effort that you put in.
Thank you. Thank you very
Yes,
much.
thank you so much, Barbara.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
All right, Nate, you're last up. What's new in Sewickley Heights?
Nothing much new, Patrick, but I do want to thank you along with everybody else for your time this year. You've done an excellent job. All the delegates do a great job, and their commitment is pretty extraordinary on top of everything else they do for their own communities.
Thank you for that. All right, anybody else have any last
Killbuck Township.
thoughts? Oh, sorry, Daryl. I skipped you. That is my fault. That's why I always do that last, like, who do I forget here? Because I always forget one. Sorry, Daryl.
I know we're small and boring, but yeah, I am here. Steep learning curve. We finished our budget a couple weeks ago, and we're going to be lowering our millage rate again this year. So makes for a happy community.
Nice.
So that's about all I have.
Great. You don't hear that too often, so that's great news.
I think it's
good.
two or 3 years in a row for us, I think. So it's good.
Very
Wow.
good. All right. Did I forget anybody, or does anyone have any last words for 2023?
No, just
All right.
enjoy this break. Have a great time, and we'll see you next year.
Merry
All right.
Christmas.
And Merry
We'll
Christmas.
see you guys. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. We'll see you in 2024.
Sounds great.
All right, bye everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Merry Christmas.